I wanted to touch on how machismo and those set of traditional beliefs and attitudes, right, in our Mexican culture, our Latino culture, Hispanic culture, can lead to generations of people forming trauma bonds over and over again, right? Being stuck with narcissists, being stuck with people that are very egotistical, that repress all their emotions and shut your emotions down, and just lead to this constant cycle of relationships where you feel like you're never enough, like you are never going to be able to make them happy, never going to be able to live up to their expectations, right? And this these beliefs of machismo is something that makes the men and the women that adopted in a strange way, right, through Marianismo, very strong, dominant, and emotionally stoic people, right? And I believe that they needed to be this way to survive, right, through those difficult past times that we've had in our human history, is led to these sort of behaviors where they've had to be strong and they've had to be cold and they've had to do this to be able to go to work every day and provide for these large families that they have, and they didn't have time to learn about raising children in a healthy way because it was not anything that they ever saw, right? They're just simply repeating what they saw from their parents, their grandparents, and just passing it on from generation to generation, right? And these machismo attitudes can begin to resemble narcissism through the behaviors that come about because of it, right? Where it seems like they always want to have control and power over somebody, right? Over the child, over the sibling, whatever it may be, at the cost of emotional understanding, emotional connection, and vulnerability, right? As those things are complete opposites of what machismo is. And growing up in a household where this is prevalent can be very difficult for the child because you're going to be in a state of survival, in a state of craving that deeper connection, right, from your parent, and just simply seeing how whenever you have negative emotions like you cry or anything, right, you're just instantly shut down and told not to do that. You're not given any sort of affection or approval beyond doing exactly what they want, right? And as the children grow up doing this, right, unconsciously adapting and aligning with these demands and expectations of the parents, they're going to find that they're suppressing their own needs, their own wants, believing that if they can just do what the parent wants, right, if they can just somehow satisfy that parent, and they will finally receive that love, that validation that they seek and need, right? And this creates a cycle where the child is constantly trying to please their parent, trying to please that person that they need that from, but they never truly feel secure or valued or heard or understood, and they're simply doing it out of habit now, right? Out of that need to survive, that need to acquire that love and validation. And this type of bonding becomes a form of trauma bonding, right? Where they they ignore themselves and what they need and what they have gone through to please the other person, and they do this over and over again through all types of their relationships, right? It becomes these people pleasing ways, it becomes putting yourself last, it becomes ignoring yourself, and this dynamic starts to form very intensely in their serious relationships, right? Where if they're married, then it just becomes this constant feeling of not being enough, this constant feeling of like you're a failure, right? That you're numb, you're empty because you don't even recognize your emotions anymore. And it seems like self-confidence just erodes slowly over time, and you only have it where you need it, like at work or going out and about, right, your day. But whenever you're alone or you're with the person you're with, it seems like you have no self-confidence and you can't set any boundaries, you can't control anything emotionally, right, in that dynamic, that relationship. And this leads to this cycle of being stuck in these terrible relationships over and over again. including if you get married, you can find yourself getting divorced and going through it again and again and again, right? I've heard this story a lot from past clients. So be very careful if this is something that you've been going through, right? Where you feel like you're never enough in a relationship, like you're empty, numb, and you are simply with them for the fear of being abandoned, of fear of not wanting to be alone, and avoiding those initial feelings that you felt as a child or as an adolescent, right? This is going to be the type of relationship that you don't want to be in. So just be very careful and take the time of being alone to heal and to make yourself into a person that doesn't have these empty holes in them that they try and fill with other people, right? With that external validation. So I hope that this connects with you and that you take some knowledge from this and that it clarifies some things in your life. It is something that you've been going through.